I'd like to say all praises to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the elders, a great millstone. Honors to all the brethren out here doing the work in the will of the Father, and truth and sincerity. All right, so here we go with another one. So we're going to call this the Bible versus Christianity. All right. So basically what we're going to go into is basically like is salvation for the Gentiles, like for the world, or is salvation for the Israelites. So let's get into it. So this Matthew's chapter 10, verse 5. These 12 Yahweh Shah sent forth and commanded them, saying, Go not into the way of the Gentiles, and into any city of the Samaritans enter ye not, but go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. And as ye go, preach, saying, The kingdom of heaven is at hand. So why would Yahweh Shai, Salakia, why would Yahweh Shai say that to the 12? Why would he say not to go the way to the Gentiles or into the city of Samaria? Let's find out. For that answer, you have to go back to the Old Testament. All right, to 2 Kings. So we're going to go to 2 Kings 17. So the 2 Kings chapter 17, and we're going to start at verse 22. Because we got to see why he made that statement. So the 2 Kings chapter 17, verse 22. For the children of Israel walked in all the sins of Jeroboam, which he did, they departed not from them until the Lord removed Israel out of his sight, as he had said by all his servants the prophets. So was Israel carried away out of their own land to Assyria unto this day. So the Israelites was carried out of the land of Samaria. All right. Why? Because they were sinning. Because they was what? Following behind Jeroboam, what was their sins? Their sins was what? Idol worshiping. So that's why they got tossed out the land. Verse 24. And the king of Assyria brought men from Babylon. All right, so now you see that the children got taken out of Israel. The children of Israel got taken out of Israel and sent where? Into the Assyrian captivity. For what? For idol worshiping. And what did the king of Assyria do? He brought men from Babylon and from Katath and from Ava and from Hamath and from Sepharvaim, and placed them in the cities of Samaria instead of the children of Israel. And they possessed Samaria and dwelt in the cities thereof. And so it was at the beginning of their dwelling there, that they feared not the Lord. Therefore the Lord sent lions among them, which slew some of them. Wherefore they spake to the king of Assyria, saying, The nations with which thou hast removed and placed in the cities of Samaria knoweth not the manner of the God of the land. And who was placed into Samaria? Who did the Assyrian king move into the land? He moved into the land, all those nations that we just named, from Babylon to the rest of these heathens. All right. The nations which thou hast removed and placed in the cities of Samaria know not the manner of the God of the land. Therefore he hath sent lions among them, and behold, they slay them, because they know not the manner of the God of the land. Then the king of Assyria commanded, saying, Carry thither one of the priests whom ye brought from thence, and let them go and dwell there, and let him teach them the manner of the God of the land. Then one of the priests whom they had carried away from Samaria came and dwelt in Bethel, and taught them how they should fear the Lord. All right, so they took one of the Israelite priests and brought them back to the land to teach who? To teach these heathens the manner that they should live by living in the land of Israel. And taught them how they should fear the Lord. Howbeit every nation made gods of their own, and put them in the houses of the high places which the Samaritans had made, every nation in their city wherein they dwelt. And the men of Babylon made Succoth-benoth, and the men of Cuth made Nergal, and the men of Hamath made Ashima, and the Evaites made Nibhaz, and Tartka, however the hell you say that shit. And the Sephirites burned their children in fire to Adrammelech and Namlech, the god of Sepharim. So they feared the Lord and made unto themselves of the lowest of them priests of the high places, with sacrifice for them in the houses of the high places. They feared the Lord and served their own gods, and the manner of the nations whom they carried away from thence. All right, so now we know why Yahweh Shah said that, man. Because you got these heathen nations in the land, all right, serving their own gods. Man, what is going on, man? Serving their own gods while also learning the manner of how to live in the land by learning the ways of the Israelites. All right? Why? Because they were being taught by the priests of the Israelites who got sent back into the land to teach them how to live in the land so they could stop getting eaten by all the lions that was attacking them. All right? Verse 34, unto this day they do after the former manners. They feared not the Lord, neither do they after their statutes or after their ordinance or after the law and commandments which the Lord commanded the children of Jacob, whom he named Israel. All right? So that was going on. That's who's in the land. All right? So now we get the perfect understanding of why Yahweh Shah said, don't go into the city of Samaria, into the city of Samaria. So that's what was going on. So Yahweh Shah knew that it was heathens in that land, man. So there you could clearly see why he told them not to go into the land. So now let's go back. Matter of fact, let's go back. Instead of going to Matthews, let's go back. Because now we clearly see why he made that statement. So let's go back to it. This is Matthew chapter 10, verse 5. These 12 Yahweh Shah sent forth and commanded them, saying, go not into the way of the Gentiles, and into any city of the Samaritans, enter ye not. Why? Because it was heathen Gentiles in the city of Samaritans. All right? That's who was there. Although there's some Israelites also in there too. Okay? Because you got to remember, they went back and got what? Went back and got the priests to teach the people. So they went back and got some Israelite priests to teach the Gentiles, the heathen Gentiles, how they should live in the land of Samaria, so the lions could stop eating them. So that's why the Most High, that's why Yahweh Shah told them not to go into that land, but go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. And as ye go, preach, saying, the kingdom of heaven is at hand. All right? So now we understand why the Most High, I don't know why I keep saying the Most High, why Yahweh Shai told them not to go into the land of Samaria, because there was heathens in the land of Samaria mixed with the Israelites, all right, in the land of Samaria. So basically he was telling the 12, you know, hey, don't worry about dealing with this situation yet, because y'all ain't ready for that. But just go to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Just go to the Jews, basically, to the people that you know are Israelites. Go teach to them first and let them know the kingdom of heaven is at hand. All right? So now, let's go to John. All right? So if the Most High and Yahweh Shah was for everybody, then Yahweh Shah wouldn't have made that statement. He just would have been like, hey, go in and teach everybody in the land of Samaria. But he didn't say that. He didn't tell them to do that. All right? All right, so this is John chapter 4. So now we're finna see Yahweh Shah dealing with Samaria and how he dealt with it. All right, so this is John chapter 4, verse 4. And he must need go through Samaria. Then cometh he to a city of Samaria, which is called Sychar, near to the parcel ground that Jacob gave to his son Joseph. Now Jacob's well was there. Yahushua therefore, being wearied with his journey, sat thus on the well, and it was about the 6th hour. There cometh a woman of Samaria to draw water. Yahushua saith unto her, Give me to drink. For his disciples were gone away unto the city to buy meat. Then saith the woman of Samaria unto him, How is it that thou, being a Jew, ask drink of me, which am a woman of Samaria? For the Jews have no dealings with the Samaritans. And why is that? Because there were heathens in that land. All right. Although there was Israelites also in that land, it was primarily heathens. So 9 times out of 10, the Israelites that was in that land was living what? Living like Samaritans. So that's why the Jews had no dealings with them, because they was like, man, look at these damn bugged out Israelites, man. Over here living like thinking they some damn Samaritans. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, we don't fuck with them like that, man. Bugged out Israelites over there living amongst these heathens, acting like these heathens. So that's why that happened. Yahushua answered and said unto her, If thou knewest the gift of God, and who it is that saith to thee, Give me to drink, thou wouldest have asked of him, and he would have given thee living water. The woman saith unto him, Sir, thou hast nothing to draw with, and the well is deep. From whence then hast thou that living water? Art thou greater than our father Jacob, which gave us the well, and drank thereof himself, and his children, and his cattle? Yahushua answered and said unto her, Whosoever drink of this water shall thirst again, but whosoever drink of the water that I shall give him shall never thirst. But the water that I shall give him shall be in him a well of water springing up into everlasting life, which that water is what? The truth, the knowledge, the understanding of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, man. All right. The woman saith unto him, Sir, give me this water, that I thirst not, neither come hither to draw. Yahushua said unto her, Go call thy husband, and come hither. The woman answered and said, I have no husband. Yahushua said unto her, Thou hast well said, I have no husband, for thou hast had 5 husbands, and he whom thou now hast is not thy husband, and that sayest thou truly. So the Most High basically calling her out, man, letting her know that she playing the harlot. The woman said unto him, Sir, I perceive that thou art a prophet. Our fathers worship in this mountain, and ye say that in Jerusalem is the place where men ought to worship. Yahushua said unto her, Woman, believe me, the hour cometh when ye shall neither in this mountain nor yet at Jerusalem worship the Father. Ye worship ye not know what. We know what we worship, for salvation is of the Jews. So Yahushua is cutting her up, man. All right, he letting her know, hey, look, you thinking you an Israelite, you believing in something that you don't even know nothing about. All right. For salvation is what? Is of the Jews. He didn't say salvation is for everybody or is for all the Gentiles. No. It says of the Jews. All right, that's who salvation is for. But the hour cometh, and now is, when the true worshipers shall worship the Father in spirit and in truth, for the Father seeketh such to worship him. God is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. The woman said unto him, I know that the Messiah cometh, which is called Christ. And how would she know that? Because of the Israelite priests that taught the people. Although these are heathens in the land, and they know the scriptures. Why? Because of the Israelite priests that was teaching them the word for them to be able to live on the land. The woman saith unto him, I know that the Messiah cometh, which is called Christ. When he is come, he will tell us all things. Yahushua said unto her, I that speak unto thee am he. And upon this came his disciples, and marveled that he talked with the woman. Yet no man said, What seekest thou? Or, Why talkest thou with her? The woman then left her water pot, and went her way into the city, and said to men, Come, see a man, which told me all things that ever I did. Is not this the Christ? Then they went out of the city and came unto him. In the meanwhile his disciples prayed him, saying, Master, eat. But he said unto them, I have meat to eat that ye know not of. All right, so he telling them, hey, I got meat to eat that ye know not of. Why? Because what Yahushua is doing here is doing what he sent Paul to do. He's doing what he later on explained to Peter what he was going to have to start doing. Because as of now, the 12, they don't know about going amongst the heathen Gentiles and getting the Israelite Gentiles. They don't know nothing about that. That wasn't explained to them yet. So that's why he said, I have meat to eat that ye know not of, because he didn't explain it to him yet. Because he don't explain that to Peter until in Acts. All right. So they wasn't on that mission of reaching out to the Gentile Israelites. So they couldn't understand what Yahushua was doing. And that's the meat that he was eating. He was among them Samaritans, getting the Israelite Gentiles that was amongst them heathen Gentiles to believe. All right. Verse 33. Therefore said the disciples one to another, have any man brought him aught to eat? Yahushua said unto them, my meat is to do the will of him that sent me, and to finish his work. Say not ye, there are yet 4 months, and then cometh harvest? Behold, I say unto you, lift up your eyes and look on the fields, for they are white already to harvest. And he that reapeth receiveth wages, and gathereth fruit unto life eternal, that both he that soweth and he that reapeth may rejoice together. And herein is that saying true, one soweth and another reapeth. I sent you to reap that whereon ye bestowed no labor. Other men labored, and ye are entered into their labors. And many of the Samaritans of the city believed on him, for the saying of the woman which testified, he told me all that I ever did. He told me all that ever I did. So when the Samaritans were come unto him, they besought him that he would tarry with them, and he abode there 2 days. And many more believed because of his own word, and saith unto the woman, now we believe, not because of thy saying. So basically they was telling the woman, hey, now we believe. Not because of what you said about him knowing that you was dealing with 5 men. All right. Not because of that. For we have heard him ourselves, and know that this is indeed the Christ. So how did they know this was indeed the Christ? Because they knew the scriptures. Those men knew the scriptures. Why? Because those men were the sons of Israelite priests. All right. And I know that this is indeed the Christ, the Savior of the world. All right. And what world? The Israelite world, which you read about that in Isaiah. All right. Israel is that world. Matter of fact, let's get that. Let's get that. Isaiah 45:17, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So Isaiah 45, verse 17, but Israel shall be saved in the Lord with an everlasting salvation. Ye shall not be ashamed nor confounded, world without end. So who is that world that shall not be shamed or confounded? Who salvation is for, everlasting salvation is for? Israel. It says, but Israel shall be saved in the Lord. So that's who the Lord came back for. So what are these Christians talking about, man? This is all about Israel, man. Point blank, period. All right, so let's shoot back to John, since now we know what that world is, like I said. So everything matching up now. Everything is matching up. Well, I'll stop it. Let me see. Salakia. I forgot okay, here we go. Verse 41. And more believed because of his own word, and said unto the woman, now we believe, not because of thy saying, for we have heard him ourselves, and know that this is indeed the Christ, the Savior of the world. Now after these 2 days, he departed thence and went into Galilee. For Yahushua himself testified that the prophet had no honor in his own country. All right, so that's what happened, man. This is the first like the first insight of showing you that there's a difference between Gentile heathens and Gentile Israelites. All right, and this is the first instance of you being able to see that the 12 did not know about going to the Gentile Israelites just yet. Because like I say, in Acts 10 is when Peter gets that knowledge, that understanding, when he goes to Cornelius. All right. And then Paul, he got that understanding. All right. And that's why he called himself what? The apostle of the Gentiles. Because he knew that there was a such thing as Gentile heathens and Gentile Israelites, meaning there are Gentile heathens that are straight up Gentiles, straight up heathens, no salvation for them, point blank period, because they're not of the nation of Israel. And then he knew that there was what? Gentile Israelites, those Israelites that's amongst these heathens, living as these heathens, thinking that they're heathens, but they're actually Israelites. All right. And to get a better understanding of that, we could go where? We could go into the tares and the wheat, right? So let's go to the tares and the wheat. So this Matthew's chapter 13, verse 24. Another parable put he forth unto them, saying, the kingdom of heaven is like unto a man. So this is talking about the kingdom of heaven. All right, for all you Christians that think everybody could go into the kingdom of heaven, that salvation is for everybody, which I'm proving that salvation is not for everybody, that it's only for Israelites. I'm proving that it's a such thing as Gentiles, heathens, and Gentile Israelites. All right, so here go another parable for the kingdom of heaven. All right. So another parable put he forth unto them, saying, the kingdom of heaven is like unto a man which soweth good seed in his field. What is the good seed? The good seed is the Israelites. But while men slept, his enemy came in and sowed tares. So who is the enemy? These other nations. And they came in and what? And sowed tares, meaning these men of the other nations, or these heathen nations, what? They had babies by Israelite women. And what was brought up? Tares.